All right, this is the briefing for March 5th, 2026. We've got a situation developing on the border. It's not about drugs, it's not weapons, it's about garbage. 3.46 million tons. That's the amount of municipal solid waste, our trash, that Ontario shipped to Michigan last year. This isn't just a number, it's a strategic liability. Let's get into it. Here's the rundown. 5 sections. We're going to cover the crisis, the economic fight, the asset in play, the operational workflow, and the financial payoff. Listen closely. Okay, Section 1. You have to understand the battlefield. For a long time, the waste corridor between Ontario and Michigan was just the easy way out. Now, it's a front line. So that 3.46 million tons, it makes up over 14% of everything buried in Michigan landfills. We're paying them to deal with our problem because we haven't built the infrastructure. That's not a partnership, that's a dependency. And a dependency is a vulnerability. And here's why. Look at the economics. It can cost 5 times as much to dump trash in Ontario as it does in Michigan. But the critical number is capacity. We're looking at less than a decade before our landfills are full. They've got 20+ years. This relationship is unsustainable, eh? And imbalance like this doesn't just sit there. It festers. And it creates an opportunity for conflict, which brings us to Section 2, the economic war. And things escalated fast. It became a tit for tat. The U.S. tariffs weren't just a fee, they were an economic attack. So Ontario hit back hard, with countermeasures aimed right at causing maximum economic pain to American producers. Premier Ford sold it as a fight for Ontario, a matter of sovereignty. But behind all the talk, the system itself was starting to crack. The legacy haulers, the guys who've been doing this for decades, were getting hammered. They couldn't prove their cargo was actually from Canada. So without the right paperwork, a USMCA certificate of origin, their trucks were simply turned away at the border. That's a catastrophic risk. When you're operating in a hostile environment, you need a new class of weapon. That's Section 3, the asset. This thing, 905 Wood, it's not a garbage company. You have to think of it as an intelligence operation. And it's designed to turn that vulnerability right back into an advantage. Here's the fundamental concept. This isn't about hauling trash anymore. It's about upgrading it. You take a pile of scrap wood from a construction site and you don't see it as refuse. You see it as a data stream. And if you can refine that data, you can create real value from the material. The process itself is clean. It's methodical. What it does is move the point of decision upstream, away from the chaos of a transfer station and right onto the job site itself. So before a single piece of wood gets on a truck, it's been scanned, it's been geolocated, and it's been assessed. This is all about control. So, the real question is, how does the system work under pressure? Let's get into Section 4. We're going deep into the technology, because this is all about making calls that are legally bulletproof. Now, this isn't just one piece of software. It's a layered system. Think of it like this. Gemini is the eye on the ground. It sees and identifies the waste. AlloyDB is the memory. It logs every single data point. Vertex AI is the brain, managing the whole operation. And RAG is the lawyer. And RAG is the whole game. See, a standard AI, it can guess, it can hallucinate. When you're in a legal fight, a hallucination is a disaster. RAG doesn't guess. It's like giving the AI an open book test. Every single decision it makes is tied directly to a specific, verified legal document. It consults the law. And this is what that looks like. The system doesn't just spit out rejected. It says rejected because it detected arsenic levels above the legal limit. And then it cites the exact law, Ontario Regulation 347, Schedule 4. This is what we call explainable compliance. It's not on opinion, it's a fact, backed by a legal citation. The end result of all this is a digital passport for every kilogram of material, an unbreakable, audit-ready chain of custody. This is the USMCA certificate of origin that those haulers need to get across the border. This document is the line between staying in business and total failure. All right, let's talk about the endgame, how all this tech connects to the money. Section 5, monetizing the bioeconomy. Because this isn't just about playing defense, it's about going on offense. It's about profit. So the financial model here is a complete game changer. The old way, legacy billing, just bundles everything into one fee, hiding the taxes. The 905 Wood model, decoupled billing, pulls it all apart. It makes that new $60 a ton provincial CIRCIL levy totally visible. And then it hands clients the verified proof they need to make that levy drop to zero. But it gets better. It's not just about dodging taxes. That digital passport, it unlocks an entirely new asset. Because you can prove this wood is being diverted from a landfill, you can generate carbon dividends. These are tradable credits on the open market. You're flipping the entire model from a cost center into a revenue stream. We're talking potentially over $350 a ton. So you see, this is bigger than just a pile of wood, eh? The digital refinery is a blueprint. The tech can be applied to anything. So the real question is, who's going to adapt and who's going to get left behind? That's the briefing. End of transmission.